All right, it looks like that was the trick. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. All right. This looks like a dysfunctional show tonight. This looks like it's going to be a dysfunctional one, but to hell with it. We'll go with it. All right, so you know what? Let me just start it over again. If you're just joining us on YouTube or the stream. All right, we got a little screwed up tonight. My apologies. 631-438-1768. The number's live. We are live here on a, what the hell night is it? It's a Wednesday. Wednesday, November 15th. Going to be talking about the Mike Cammalleri deal. We're going to be talking about the New Jersey Devils. Are they legit? Why Doug Waite is probably going to give me a friggin' heart attack. All that and more. And we're taking your calls at 631-438-1768 on Twitter and Instagram at Hockey Talk Show. That's at Hockey Talk Show. Or if you want to use the chat on Facebook or YouTube, we're Hockey Talk Show on both. Just search Hockey Talk Show and drop us in, and we'll try and get to as many comments as we can tonight. Where do we want to start? Let's start with this Cammalleri deal. I want to get into the Cammalleri deal. This is a super important thing. As I was saying before that we got interrupted on the stream here, there's a couple of deals. There's blockbuster deals, there's significant deals, and then there's the Louis Domingue deal. That's kind of that's where we're at. You know, I was excited over Louis Domingue yesterday, but today I think we have a really much more significant trade. And I can't wait to get in and break it down to you here. It's really simple. 1-for-1 player swap. I think each guy is making $1 million. So salary wise, it's an easy deal to make with the cap. But I got to be honest with you. I disagree with the Hockey News. And I want to get into their article written by Matt Larkin. Let me bring this up for you here on the screen in case you're watching on Facebook and YouTube. Matt Larkin writes, Cammalleri for Jokinen, a smart trade for both teams. God, I disagree with this. I just disagree. I don't like it. I don't think it's a smart trade for both teams. I got to be honest with you. If you ask me, I think the Edmonton Oilers stole this one here. And I'm a little surprised that not more people aren't talking about the fact that the Edmonton Oilers stole one. They stole one. Come on, guys. Come on, Hockey News. Get with it, buckaroo. 631-438-1768 if you disagree. Oilers fans, you got to be psyched. Now, look, did you go ahead and pick up the missing piece? Is Cammalleri the deal that's going to get you into the Stanley Cup Finals? I don't know. But you're certainly not worse off than you are when you started the season. Couple interesting things about the trade right off the get-go here. Both of these guys were acquisitions in the offseason. Both Cammalleri and Jokinen were signed by their respective teams in the offseason. So these were both, boy, this move didn't work. Trades. That's what this was. Let's see here. Cammalleri and Jokinen were both deployed in manners that didn't maximize their strengths on their new teams. They should be better fits. An old school hockey trade, writes Matt Larkin. Player for player, change of scenery for change of scenery, selling low for selling even lower. It's the kind of trade we used to see in, say, 1989, but it's pretty rare in today's NHL. So it was fun when the news dropped Tuesday night that the Pacific Division Los Angeles Cammalleri, 35, who played right or left wing to Los Angeles. UC Jokinen, 34, who can play all three forward positions. Cammalleri carries a $1 million cap hit on a one-year deal. Jokinen, $1.1 million cap hit on a one-year deal. So the money transfer was negligible. So why did this trade happen? Well, I don't want to read all this stuff for you. It's pretty boring. Boy, he doesn't make a compelling art. Print is in a bad place, though, isn't it? Isn't print just in a friggin' bad place? They don't even have opinions anymore. It's disgusting. Better fit for a defensive forward than Cammalleri, who is somewhat a square peg in a round hole. Checking line among these three. I think that the Edmonton Oilers stole one here, and here's why. You're getting the better scoring forward. I've been saying this, and I've been preaching this, and I'm going to preach it. I'm going to continue to preach it till I can't breathe anymore. Scoring, 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 scoring. It's going to take a little while, but the National Hockey League has changed drastically. This is a scoring league now, and it's going to take teams a little while to catch up. Look at the Tampa Bay Lightning. They just score and score and score. Look at Edmonton last night. They ate to what? 3? 8-3 the deal was in last night's game. By the way, 8-2. By the way, how weird is it to make a trade when you had an 8-2 win? I mean, that's weird to win 8-2 and then you're like, oh, I'll make a deal. That's just bizarre. I mean, not to say that you have to make a trade after every loss or it has to be like a disgusting game and you got to make a trade to get that bounce, but it's 8-2 is a statement and a half, and then to make a deal after that is kind of weird. It's an interesting maneuver. It's bad timing, but a good deal. You got to make the deal, I think. Going over to Daily Faceoff just to check out these line combinations here. I'm wondering if they have these guys slotted in on their new teams. From what I understand in asking around, they don't have UC Jokinen in the Kings lineup. And let's see here. They don't have Cammalleri with Edmonton just yet. All right. I mean, it's understandable. It's a pretty fresh trade, but I'd like to check the schedule tonight to see. Let me see here. November 15th, New York, Chicago tonight. It's going to be good. What happened in Chicago though? Neither Los Angeles or the Edmonton Oilers are playing this evening. So I'm assuming these guys will both be in the lineup for their next time around. So we'll see what lines they're slotted in on. But to me, scoring, 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 scoring. That's the new norm in the league. You know, I was listening to Nick Kyprios earlier, who said that the league changed drastically. And UC Jokinen is not the fastest player in the world. And he said even within the last year and a half, all the way back out, it is a fast league. And when you look at this trade, Mike Cammalleri is so much faster than UC Jokinen. He's faster, and he's a better scorer. Now, you might be sitting there telling me, well, the Los Angeles Kings have Anze Kopitar, and Dustin Brown is back to form, and he's doing amazing, and Tyler Toffoli and Tanner Pearson and all these guys, and they're going to be fine, and they're scoring, and they need the defensive help. Okay, well, yeah, look, do I agree that it's a better fit for both players and teams? I do, but the Los Angeles Kings lost on this deal. Mike Cammalleri is a far better player. Now, from what I understand, the intentions of Mike Cammalleri and the Los Angeles Kings got crosswired a little bit. That's from what I've understand. From what I've read around the internet today, and speaking to my sources, Mike Cammalleri went in there with the understanding that he was going to be a significant part of the offense. Now, it's delusional to think that way, especially at his age and where he's at. He should be thankful he got $1 million, because the league is biting off of the old people, chewing them up and spitting them out. If you're 35, you are decrepit and old in the National Hockey League these days. That is just the way it is. I'm sorry to say it, but that is just the way it is. They don't hold on to old players anymore. So he should be thankful that he got the money. He got the money, I feel, out of respect, not because he was worth it. That being said, I saw Mike Cammalleri as a great third line player. Hey, get on my third line, do some scoring for me, maybe sit on my second power play unit, be a help, chip in a couple minutes, 15 minutes or so a night. You'll be good to go. But from what I understand, and I could be wrong about this, but this is just from what I'm hearing, that Mike Cammalleri went to the Los Angeles Kings with an idea that he would be getting top 6 minutes. Now, either the Los Angeles Kings are big fat liars, or they were just saying whatever they needed to say, but Mike Cammalleri found himself being a healthy scratch in some of these games. I don't think anybody in the world outside of that organization thought Mike Cammalleri is going to be playing top 6 minutes for the Los Angeles Kings this year. Not to say that Camalleri's done, because he's not, but he's in the twilight of his career. So from what I understand, Mike Cammalleri is pretty frustrated, and I haven't heard anything saying that he, asked for a trade, but I think he's garnered enough respect and attention at this point in the league to say, I'm not happy, and have the Los Angeles Kings just know he's not happy and accommodate him with a move. Jussi Jokinen, on the other hand, again, pretty well respected. Jokinen's what, 34? He's 34. Same sort of situation, although I think just for him, it just flat out wasn't working out. I never really understood the Jussi Jokinen signing by the Edmonton Oilers. I didn't really get it. You have Draisaitl, you have Maroon, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Jesse Puljujarvi is in the mix now, Milan Lucic. You know, they made the deal for Ryan Strome because, let's be honest, Eberle wasn't a third-line player, so that's a pretty smart move. I thought Strome would do okay on the third line for Edmonton. He's picked it up a little bit. I don't think he's great, but he's picked it up. Mark Letestu is a solid, bottom 6 forward. I love Zach Cassian's game. Little tough guy, a little scruff in there. And you fill out the rest. I feel like you fill out the rest with young rookies. Bringing in a Jussi Jokinen, to me, I don't get it. I don't know why the league isn't utilizing their third line to help develop top 6 forwards. What happened to that method? What happened to, this guy is going to be a top 6 forward in a few years. Let me throw him on my third line, get him some minutes, limit his exposure in the defensive zone so that he doesn't cough up pucks and make mistakes. And I'll be bringing him along, and he'll be playing in National Hockey League games versus AHL games. Seriously, what happened to that? Your third line should be your developmental line. You should be able to put 1 or 2 solid third line NHL forwards in there, preferably one who can score and one who's great at defense. And then that other slot should be left to a player that needs to develop. I don't know why nobody's using this method anymore. Because coaches are obsessed with defense because they feel like if their teams aren't limiting the other teams to 20 shots a game and only giving up 1 or 2 goals, that they're not doing their job. I think a coach would much rather lose every game of the season 2-1 and go, oh, look, we've limited their chances. We did good. We only gave up 2 goals. And we didn't have the scoring. Every coach in this game would like to do that because great defensive statistics to coaches mean they're doing their job. And I'm telling you, all these coaches, they're about to get a brutal surprise. And it's that the league has changed. The league is offensive. The league is fast. And the league is about scoring. All the league has been doing all this time, no grabbing, no clutching, no tripping, no slashing now, is to open up offense. And they've been opening it up and opening it up. The referees pulling out all the stops in the preseason games, calling all those penalties, letting the players know this will not happen anymore. It was all measures. So if you're not adjusting your coaching style to go along with that, then what are you doing? If I have my choice between Mike Cammalleri now and Jussi Jokinen, Mike Cammalleri is so much better, it's not even funny. I can find 1,000 Jussi Jokinens in this league right now that can eat up a lot of minutes, not score any goals, and be really slow out there. And I don't want to come down on Jussi Jokinen, but let's be honest. Don't sit here and tell me a trade for Jokinen and Cammalleri was about even and it's going to work out for every team. Because it ain't. It's going to be far better for the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers stole one here. Peter Chiarelli, I'm not saying he should be arrested, but the FBI should go to his house and start searching some stuff. They should start rummaging through some things. because a crime was committed here. And Mike Cammalleri is now an Edmonton Oiler. Now, do I think this move is going to turn around and fix everything for the Edmonton Oilers? No. Do I think they are far better? Yup. Do I think that there is a possibility? Are they better today than they were yesterday? Yes. Do I think there's a possibility that Mike Cammalleri could be the thing that helps the Edmonton Oilers? It sure is possible. It's a lot more possible now than it was when UC Jokinen was in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers, because that was not helping anybody, not even jersey sales. 631-438-1768 to call into the Hockey Talk Show. Am I crazy? Because I disagree with the Hockey News and this Matt Larkin, if that is his real name. I'd like to have him investigated too. Cammalleri is just so much better. I mean, when you look at their stats side by side, let me see here. I had it here before. Cammalleri had 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists in 15 games. 7 points in 15 games. He's a point every other game player. I don't know what general manager wouldn't take that on their team. On a third line player, on a top 6 player, no good. On a third line player, point every other game. That's not bad. Now he had 2 points in his last 10 games. Obviously, he was pissed. He was disgruntled. You know, Jokinen had 1 assist in 15 games. I think that the Los Angeles Kings got fleeced on this deal. Fleeced. I don't know what they're doing. 1 goal in 14 games versus 3 goals and 4 assists in 15 games. Come on, dude. Don't sit there and tell me this is a good deal for everybody. Boy, everybody wins on this one. Just because everybody kind of won on the Kyle Turris, Matt Duchene deal doesn't mean that everybody wins on every other trade. Okay? That's not how it works. There's one winner in this deal. The Edmonton Oilers. Now, is Mike Cammalleri going to be the answer for, Connor McDavid? Because the Oilers are dying for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, 1-2. They don't want to play them two together. It's exactly what the Hawks do with Kane Taves. It's exactly what the Penguins do with Crosby Malkin. You put them together when you need a jump. You want to keep them separate to spread out your offense so that you can keep coming against the other team's defense and they can't stop you. So Edmonton is dying to get into this mode where Draisaitl is off that line of McDavid's. They seem hell-bent on keeping Patrick Maroon up there, which is fine with me. Lucic was supposed to be there, but he's too damn slow. So they just got him on the second line. He still gets to protect David technically. So does Zach Kassian, but they're not going to play alongside him. I think the speed of Mike Cammalleri with Connor McDavid is going to be awesome. I think that he is going to get, and maybe not at first, but I think if you're the Edmonton Oilers, if you're Peter Chiarelli, if you're Todd McClellan, you got to think to yourself, this might not be the answer, but it might. Speedy Cammalleri with a lot of experience might just be what Connor McDavid needs. Might just be what he needs. It certainly is not Jesse Puljujarvi, at least not now. It wasn't Yamamoto, and it's definitely not UC Jokinen. Definitely not UC Jokinen. I love Cammalleri on the Oilers right now. I'm excited about this. I'm tuning into the next Edmonton Oilers game to see if Cammalleri is going to be as good as I think he could possibly be. 631-438-1768 to call in. 631-438-1768 if you want to call into the Hockey Talk Show. That's what I think. Both teams worked out good. No Hockey News. Both teams did not turn out okay. I'm pretty far from okay. What is this, 1994? I'm quoting Pulp Fiction here. Both teams did not work out okay in this deal. One team won in this deal. The Edmonton Oilers won. Plain and simple. Matt Larkin got it wrong. Smart trade for both. But guess it's not a smart trade for both. Los Angeles Kings didn't know what to do. I have a feeling that they promised the world to Mike Cammalleri. And they said, yeah, you'll come in here. Yeah, you'll play top 6 minutes. It'll be, yeah, we'll put you with Kopitar. It'll be great. And he's sitting there as a healthy scratch going, what the hell are you guys doing? I want out of here. You told me I was going to play. What the hell did I sign here for then? To sit out in the press box? To sit on the third line, fourth line, and get third and fourth line minutes? I'd be damn pissed if I was Mike Cammalleri. And I think with a little egg on their face, the Kings said, all right, we'll see if we can find you a deal somewhere. We'll see if we can get you somewhere. Probably called all around and nobody really wanted him. Let's be honest, he's a little bit of a project. He was only going to be a scenario, a change of scene player for a change of scene player. And they wound up finding a sucker in the Edmonton Oilers. Excuse me, not a sucker. The Edmonton Oilers wound up finding a sucker in them because they unloaded an even bigger problem than Mike Cammalleri. But I don't blame Mike Cammalleri. I blame the Kings for this. If they really promised him more, if that is true, that they said, you come in here, you play top 6 minutes with us, and it feels like it's true because of what they took back in return, which essentially a bag of pucks would have been better than UC Jokinen and his 1 assist in 14 games. Again, we could put my grandmother on the Edmonton Oilers, and she would have more than 1 assist in 14 games. Hell, it's a secondary. I mean, everybody gets a secondary assist. What the hell? How hard is that? How hard is that? I honestly think my grandmother can do it. She's been dead for 15 years. She looks better than UC Jokinen, though. Not as fat. Probably a little faster. League has changed, kids. Coaches, managers need to catch up. It's all about speed. Cammalleri has the speed. He's got the stats. He's a little bit more offensive. Edmonton needs the winger. For McDavid, this is worth a shot. $1 million for $1.1 million, so the salary cap doesn't mean a difference. It's worth a shot. It's worth it. I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to come out of this trade so far ahead of the Los Angeles Kings. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I wouldn't be surprised if Jokinen doesn't finish the year with the Kings. I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon Jokinen is sitting up in the press box during the games. Wouldn't be surprised. Devastating news for the New Jersey Devils. We just got word, this coming in from Amanda Stein on Twitter. Mirko Mueller has a fractured clavicle from a hit delivered by John Hanley on Sunday. Out indefinitely, will have surgery tomorrow. That flat out sucks if you're the New Jersey Devils. Big part of your blue line there. Mirko Mueller just coming in and doing a phenomenal job for the Devils here. Big part of this team and the resurgence that they have had this season. It was a great, you look at the Devils, the Hall trade, Mueller trade. They went in here and they found their little pieces, man. They found these little pieces and they put them all together, kind of almost like an island of misfit toys. And bam, they have just come right out of the gate. And they're just sitting there with a big old winning record. 11-4, +7 on the goal difference. Now look at the difference between the Atlantic and the Metropolitan. The Tampa Bay Lightning have a +25 goal differential. Jesus. How can those guys score goals? And the Devils, who sit on top of the Metro, only have a +7. Look at the Pittsburgh Penguins with a -17 on the goal differential, and they're still third in that division. They are still 10-7. That's unreal. But if I was going to tell you at the beginning of the season, the New Jersey Devils would be that much better and higher in the standings than the Pittsburgh Penguins, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Washington Capitals, you'd have flat out turned off this show. You'd have never listened to me. Nobody had the Devils down, but they've certainly done a great job. And Mirko Mueller has been a big part of that for the New Jersey Devils. And losing him is a huge blow. A huge blow. I don't want a Devils holiday. When is the league going to get off of these pop-ups? Stop with the pop-ups. Look at this Taylor Hall, 19 points in 17 games. He sure has been great. Jesper Bratt, fantastic find. Will Butcher, look at Brian Gibbons, 8 goals, 3 assists. 8 goals, 3 assists for Brian Gibbons. Jussi Jokinen, 1 assist in 14 games. Ball Peach, what's up, my man? Jokinen's 34 and Camalleri's 35. Look, when you break down this deal, it was an even trade. You know, they're the same age. They're making the same money. They're both not a fit for Edmonton or the Los Angeles Kings. You know, you got a lot of similarities when you look at this Edmonton Oilers Los Angeles Kings trade. But it doesn't mean it was smart for both. It was only smart for the Edmonton Oilers. They had the bigger problem, and they got rid of it. Now, Cammalleri might have been the bigger problem off the ice. You know, if you promise a guy, because that was the rumor. The rumor was that at least from what people are buzzing about today is that when Cammalleri signed there in the offseason, they told him, you're going to get top 6 minutes. You're going to be a big part of our offense. And he wasn't that. He was playing third line where, honestly, he should be playing. And he got sat. He was a healthy scratch a couple of times. The issue is, shouldn't have sold him a bill of goods. Shouldn't have said he was going to get top 6 minutes. He wasn't. Now, maybe the Kings just thought, well, we're not going to be able to sign him if we don't promise him top 6. We'll give him the $1 million. Tell him he's going to get top 6. We'll get him in here and we'll see what's what. We'll figure it out. Maybe he'll adjust to a third line slot. Well, that blew up in your face because Cammalleri is not willing to accept the third line position yet. And I don't know if he's going to get a third line position in Edmonton because the obvious choice is to play him alongside Connor McDavid for now. So even maybe Cammalleri is going to get what he wants. But if it doesn't work, then he's going to get used to playing with Ryan Strome. Sorry, Mike, but you know, if it doesn't work with Connor McDavid, it's going to be Ryan Strome for you, my man. But hey, be nice to him because this is probably going to be his last year in the league anyway. There's no reason to go out on a sour note. You know what I'm saying? 631-438-1768. Not going too long tonight. Just cleaning up some of the news here. So it's a big trade, Cammalleri for Jokinen, but I think the clear winner is the Edmonton Oilers. They got the better player. Everything else looks, you know, even. And if you're a dumb talking head, hockey pundit that doesn't know any better, yeah. But if you have eyes and you love this sport and you can evaluate talent, anybody would know that Cammalleri is a better player right now, and just a better fit. Again, there's 1,000 UC. I can pick up 1,000 players right now via free agency, call them up from the AHL, or pick them up on the waiver wire eventually in a couple of days that can come in and play for me and not score any points. There's plenty of players available who are slow. Jussi Jokinen is outdated, man. At least Cammalleri, even though he's lost some steps, still has the speed to play in a league where speed is everything. Just look at the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Not the most talented team, but they're fast and they know how to forecheck, and they're relying on Neal and Marchessault, and they're scoring and so on and so forth. Now, they've come back to reality in the last 10 games, but they're still 10-6-1, and they're still sitting second in the Pacific right now because they're fast. Because Gerard Gallant, and he started this in Florida, he knew he could see where the league was going and know, sure, defense is important, and yes, you need to have good goaltending, but offense is what's important now. Offense is going to be the deciding factor. Again, that old, you build from the net out, that's old now. That is no longer. The days of building teams the way Bill Torrey said to build them, with all respect to Bill Torrey, I love him more than anything, gave my team 4 cups. Those days are over. They're over. Now, it's not to say you don't want to go ahead and then go out and get yourself a Drew Doughty, or a Shea Weber. Of course, you need that core 1A defenseman. But offense is what's important. If all things are equal and you have a chance to get a good defenseman and a good forward, and you have to sit there and decide, 5 years ago, get the defenseman. Right now, take the forward. Because offense is going to be far more important for you moving forward. The league is changing, and it's going to take a lot of coaches to catch up to it. But Gerard Gallant's already there. Gerard Gallant is already there, and that's why Vegas is successful. Now, when Fleury comes back, they're going to be even better. They're going to be an even tougher team to play against. So it sucks for the New Jersey Devils. I don't know who they slot in behind Mueller. I would have to take a look at their line combinations. And again, I'm going to go on here over to dailyfaceoff.com because they just do a tremendous job at building these things out here. Green, Santini, Severson, Moore, Butcher, and Lovejoy is the top 6 right now. So I guess Santini is the one who comes in here for the New Jersey Devils. I don't know too much about him, but I do know that the Devils have... You got your best defenseman in Corey Schneider anyway. I mean, that's the real key for them. You got Andy Green and Corey Schneider. Is Andy Green the best 1A defenseman? Well, he's not Drew Doughty, and he's not Shea Weber. But you know what? He's good enough. He's the captain of the team. He's a steady defenseman. I like Andy Green. And on a team where, you know, you're an island of misfit toys, Andy Green's going to do just fine. He's going to fill out and be just fine for you. So no issues here from me on Andy Green on the New Jersey Devils defense. I'm not totally familiar with Steven Santini, but again, I mean, look at the forward lineup. Look at the forward lineup. Jesper Bratt and Brad, I should say, Miles Wood, who had a hell of a game the other night against the Chicago Blackhawks, and Brian Gibbons, who's on the 4th line right now with 8 goals. 8, count them, 8 goals on the 4th line. They're just rewriting every rule book the National Hockey League has, these New Jersey Devils right now. They're just rewriting everything. They're rewriting all of it. It's unbelievable to me. 631-438-1768. It's a great young team. You know, it's a great young team. And I love Brian Boyle. I told you that in the beginning of the year. The fact that Toronto didn't want to keep Brian Boyle with Matt Martin is, to me, a marriage made in heaven. I mean, I don't understand why Toronto let Brian Boyle go. Maybe he didn't want to be there. I'm not quite sure what happened, but I friggin' love Brian Boyle. He's a phenomenal player. Huge part of the Tampa Bay Lightning going to the Stanley Cup final. I was shocked when Tampa traded him to Toronto, and then you look at the run that Tampa went on after that trade happened, after the give-up trade of let's get what we can for Brian Boyle, who's becoming a free agent. Tampa still went up doing pretty all right, but Brian Boyle was a big part of that team, and he was great for the New York Rangers when they were here too. All the while, all the much smarter that the New Jersey Devils are for signing him. I mean, they just went out and scooped up every one of their bets were right in the offseason. That's what's so uncanny about the Devils. They got every bit of it right. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. By the way, the Devils beating the Blackhawks, coming back from 4-1 to beat the Chicago Blackhawks 7-5. I don't know what's going on in Chicago right now. I really don't. But it's scary. It's really scary. You know when you're a kid and your parents like act really weird, or like you catch your mom or your dad crying and you get that like freaked out feeling? That's kind of what I have right now with the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't know what to do. The Blackhawks aren't that good. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'm used to them being really good and beating everybody. And Joel Quenneville is a mastermind. And Kane and Taves are genius Stanley Cup champions. I mean, is the Panarin trade that big of a... Because Saad looked good coming in here his first couple of times, his first couple of games. I was like, I wonder how Saad's going to be. I'm going to tune in and check it out and see how he's working. And he looked pretty good. I don't know if his numbers have fallen off here. I'm bringing them up right now. Let's take a look at the Chicago Blackhawks quickly. I do end the show because I got a bunch of other things to take care of. But Kaner in there, 17 points in 18 games. Alex Brinkat, look at this youngster. 6-5, 4-7 for Taves. Not horrible numbers, not great, but you know, Jonathan's a solid player. 7 goals for Brendan Scott, so he's chiming in. Richard Panic's doing what he does. He's come off 6 goals, not too bad. You know, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I really don't know what's going on with the Blackhawks. Is it a goalie problem? 7 goals for Brendan. Crawford's got a 2.21 in 15 games. How the hell does your goaltender have a 2.21 goals against average and you're losing as bad as you are right now? Because the Blackhawks are on the outside looking in, are they not? They're on the outside looking in. They got 18 points in 18 games. I mean, it's not dire. Vancouver has the last spot in the wild card with 20 points. So they're only 2 points behind the Vancouver Canucks. So it's not horrible. But they just don't look like themselves. I mean, they're 8-8. They're NHL 500 right now. 4-6 in their last 10. +4 goal differential. It's just so bizarre that Pittsburgh is sitting there with a minus. What was Pittsburgh's goal differential? A -17, and they're sitting third in the division. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Just goes to show you the stats don't always add up to wins and losses, you know. But there's something going on. I'm guessing this is just like a little funk for the Blackhawks. I don't know. I have them in the playoffs still. I still think they're good enough, despite all the things that they're going through. You know, with some of the injuries and other things. Losing. I mean, I knew that the loss of Panarin was going to be a big deal. I just didn't think it was going to be this big of a deal for them. Finally, before we go here, I hate to continue to harp on this, but the saga of Doug Weight trying to give me a friggin' heart attack seems to be continuing here, as we see from Arthur Staple, who's just a tremendous talent in covering the New York Islanders. Doug Weight said today that Anthony Beauvillier looked good and felt okay. If he can play tomorrow, the Islanders have to send Joshua Ho-Sang back to Bridgeport or change the conditions of his recall. For those of you unfamiliar, Joshua Ho-Sang was recalled from the Bridgeport Sound Tigers on an emergency basis, which means that if Beauvillier comes, which means that if they have an opportunity to play another player, that they have to send Ho-Sang down. If they want to keep Ho-Sang up, then they have to change the conditions of his recall. Basically, just take the emergency label off. It is such an inane, small detail. I don't know why the New York Islanders are harping on this or why he was an emergency recall to begin with. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know if there's a salary or insurance thing, or I don't know what the hell the problem is with the New York Islanders, but why they won't just give him a slot is beyond me. Not sure they would play 3 and 4 without an extra forward on hand, but Weight did mention Hickey as a forward possibility, says Arthur Staple. Now, Arthur Staple is not one of these BS reporters who's just going to cause chaos without having reason. If that's what Doug Weight mentioned, that's what he mentioned. Now, scrolling down a bit here, Arthur Staple did reply to this guy here, Mike Walsh. I guess the reason they kept him on emergency conditions on this recall were to make sure everyone knew it could be short term. We'll see if they choose to make a change. There was another one. I can't find it now. There was one response from a player from a Twitter fan that was basically saying, why are the Islanders trying so hard to keep Joshua Ho-Sang in an uncomfortable position or not give him a slot? Why are they messing with him essentially? And I don't know. I don't know, because it feels like they are. It feels like they are. Just remove the emergency tag. You want to let everybody know it's short term? Why? What kind of message are you sending to this player? Why are you screwing with him so much? I don't get it. You're going to go on a three games in 4 nights run without an extra forward on hand? Why? So you can emergency recall him again if somebody gets hurt? The hell are you doing? So you can sit there and go, well, Thomas Hickey's a possibility. What National Hockey League franchise is like proud almost to be like, well, we could just have a defenseman step in and be a forward? I've never seen anything like this. What I would like to know is, what family member of Doug Waits did Joshua Ho-Sang sleep with? That's what I would like to know. Or Garth Snow or whatever. Did Ho-Sang sleep with Garth Snow's sister? Is that what happened? Is that what it was? Did he sleep with Doug Waits' aunt? What's going on? What is happening? Because this youngster continues to be nothing but a blessing for the New York Islanders, and they continue to just be like, meh. They continue to just take these little tiny shots at him that seem immature and stupid. And the groundwork for making a disgruntled player that much farther down the line. And let's not act like that's one of the pride points of the New York Islanders, because that's what they do. Brock Nelson was disgruntled when he signed his deal. Calvin DeHaan was disgruntled when he signed his one-year deal. He wanted a longer-term deal. I get that Garth Snow is making some shrewd moves here, and that's fine. But let's be honest with each other. There's a big lack of communication inside the New York Islanders organization, A. And B, they love to put young players in their place. They have a phobia. Like Louis C.K. trying to do his thing in front of chicks, trying to get chicks to watch him. The Islanders have issues. And one of their major issues is they can't help themselves from putting these young players in bad situations. By the way, I don't want to downgrade the Louis C.K. situation. It was disgusting what he did to those young ladies. That's terrible. I don't want to belittle that. But what I'm saying is, he had a problem. He couldn't help himself. And that's the New York Islanders right now. They can't help themselves. Give the guy his due, for Christ's sake. Joshua Ho-Sang in 7 games has 5 points. 1 goal and 4 assists. Cal Clutterbuck, different type of player, has 5 points in 17 games. Cizikas, 6 points in 17 games. Andrew Ladd has 2 more points and has played 10 more games than Joshua Ho-Sang. I can keep going. Brock Nelson has 3 more points and played 10 more games. Joshua Ho-Sang is in front of Anthony Beauvillier, Nikolai Kulemin, Jason Chimera, and Alan Quine as far as stats go, and he can't hold on to a roster spot over Anthony Beauvillier, Nikolai Kulemin, Thomas Hickey, Jason Chimera, and Alan Quine. He can't do it. He's got more points than all of them. Man, I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to prove to this kid. You already made your point when you sent him down. Now you've called him back up, and you want to continue to make your point that this is a short-term thing? What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? The New York Islanders were on a search for a president in the offseason. They thought they would bring in somebody to help Garth Snow. They have since stopped that search. But this was one of the reasons why you need to have another hockey person in the room when the guys are making these pretty easy decisions. You need somebody to be in there to be like, why don't we just call him up instead of an emergency recall? He earned it. He deserves to be the first player called up in this situation when somebody's hurt. We made our point by sending him down there. We kept him down there far longer than anybody thought we would. Why don't we just let this kid come back up and play? I don't understand what they're doing to Joshua Ho-Sang. I don't know who Joshua Ho-Sang had relations with in the Garth Snow or Doug Waite family, but it's got to be somebody. It's got to be somebody, because you don't treat somebody like this unless they slept with your aunt or your sister or a cousin. There's just no damn way. You don't continue to just flat out. What are they proving by letting Joshua Ho-Sang, well, maybe we'll play Thomas Hickey instead. I mean, seriously, I don't even get it. I don't even get it. I'm living in a world where the New Jersey Devils are the best team in the East, and Joshua Ho-Sang can't get a roster spot over Nikolai Kulemin and Thomas Hickey. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what happened. The world is broken. The world is broken. I don't know if you noticed this, but since the Harvey Weinstein thing, everything has been out of whack. Everything has been out of whack, including Joshua Hosang's playing time. All right, that's it for the Hockey Talk Show tonight. Appreciate the comments. We'll be back with another one tomorrow. We got a lot of other like kind of big storylines that we're following here. And not only the New Jersey Devils doing well, but the fact that they would have a chance at being traded. But I don't know. I don't see a team on the up anymore. I see a team sort of on the down. And is Chicago on the down? I refuse to think so, but they certainly are playing like it. And the results have certainly been there that they are on the down. So we got to wait and see. There's a few storylines that I'm following. By the way, nobody seems to have faith in the Vegas Golden Knights, and I still do. Maybe I'm crazy. We might get into that on the next show. Everybody still thinks that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to trade off their whole entire team towards the end of the season. And I don't know how you can say that about a 10-6 team. I don't know how you can say that. I mean, part of the reason why this team is so damn good is because they've come together so quickly, and they're sitting there going, well, they're probably going to trade James Neal, and they're probably going to trade this one and trade that one. But why? The Canadian media seems to think that Vegas is a joke, and I just hate them for it. I respect them so much for so many things, but damn it, I hate them for the way that they're treating the Vegas Golden Knights. This is not the Columbus Blue Jackets back in 2000. Times have changed. This is a good team with good coaching. They know the trend in the league right now. They are playing fast hockey. They are getting pucks in deep. They are holding on to pucks. Have you seen Marchessault bring the puck into the zone? The guy doesn't give it up. David Perron is born again. The guy's born again. He's playing great. Why are they going to trade these guys? Why? Because they're building for the future? I got to be honest with you. The future isn't as far away as George McPhee thought. And he's still sitting there with a whole slew of draft picks. Now, look, if he can't come to a deal with I like how I was prepping this for tomorrow's show, and I'm already getting into it. I'm 20 minutes past where I thought I was going to be tonight. We are going to put Granny in goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, Ball Peach. You got it, brother. Granny would do better. Might as well. You might want to try putting friggin' UC Jokinen in goal. At least then maybe he can help the team instead of hurt the team. Make a trade for one. Guy's got 1 point in 14 games. Hockey News is sitting there going, this is a good deal for everybody. And it's not a good deal for the Los Angeles Kings. They screwed up on the Cammalleri deal, and they're trying to save face by bringing in a defensive player. Yeah. A 34-year-old defensive specialist. He's really defensive, all right. 1 point in 14 games. That's not called a defensive specialist. That's called sucks. But think about this before the next show. What if James Neal wants to sign a long-term deal there? Because I haven't heard any indication of anything else. I'm not saying he does, but I'm saying this team, the tragedy, the fact that they were great. What's stopping it? Because I'm going to be honest with you. The return for James Neal is not going to be as impressive as you think if he's just a rental. And is it worth it then? Is it worth getting rid of James Neal for a third-round pick? What if James Neal said, the only way it's worth it is if James Neal says, George, thanks for the opportunity, but I'm not signing here again. Then trade him. But I haven't heard James Neal say that. All I've heard this team say is, I really like it here. We really became a part of the community quickly. The guys in the locker room are really playing for each other. I enjoy playing for Gerard Gallant. And it's not just lip service. It's pretty genuine. I mean, I can tell when a player is just giving us lip service and when it's genuine. This is genuine. I just think the media in Toronto is too busy looking at themselves in the mirror to actually figure out what's really going on in the desert. And that's that you got a real bond and a real team growing here. They think that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to fall off and be terrible. Look, I don't know if they're going to stay second in the division. A lot of viewers, 6 o'clock-ish or so. And then I do feel like we have a lot of viewers at 3:30 as well. So I honestly don't know where the show is going to wind up settling in, but we'll put the schedule up on the Facebook page and the YouTube page for when we're going to go live. Kind of give you guys a heads up couple hours out so you can be reminded and you could join in on the hockey conversation. Remember, hockeytalkshow.com has all our links and all the other information for you. And we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube, all at Hockey Talk Show. If you're listening on the podcast, a couple of cool little milestones for something that's only 4 or 5 weeks old. We're almost up to 350 followers on Facebook. We surpassed 10,000 views on YouTube already. We're over 500 downloads on the podcast. So the numbers have been really encouraging to start off, as we literally started from 0 just 4 weeks ago. And we're up to where we are right now. So thanks for sharing, rate and review that podcast, retweet the tweets, share the Facebook shows, comment, give the thumbs up on YouTube, and we'll continue to deliver some good hockey talk. Greg just joined the show. What did I say? I'd recap it all for you, Greg, but I gotta go. Fortunately for you, though, the whole show starts all over again whenever you want. That's the beauty of social media. That's why we're on YouTube and Facebook and not on Some Stuffy TV Network. Also because Some Stuffy TV Network wouldn't let me do a show from my home. So that was the other part of it. But technicality, but nonetheless, still part of it.